Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
An hour of crime on this Wednesday. We'll check in with Gangbusters, an episode of Let George Do It, which some of you said is a favorite episode of yours, Philo Vance starring Jackson Beck, and an episode of Suspense and The Last Trip. And we thank you for tripping with us here on this Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's the 8th day of November, 312th day of the year, 53 days left until we get to 2024. Presidential elections on this date: 1864, Abraham Lincoln reelected in an overwhelming victory over George McClellan. 1892, Grover Cleveland elected over Benjamin Harrison and James B. Weber to win the second of his non-consecutive terms. 1932, President Roosevelt, Franklin D., defeating incumbent Herbert Hoover in a landslide. In 1960, President Kennedy elected over Richard M. Nixon, becoming the youngest man to hold that office.
To all citizens of this country, Democrats, Independents, Republicans, regardless of how they may have voted, that it is a satisfying moment to me, and I want to express my appreciation to all of them and to Mr. Nixon personally. The next 4 years are going to be difficult and challenging years for us all. The election may have been a close one, but I think that there is general agreement by all of our citizens that a supreme national effort will be needed in the years ahead to move this country safely through the 1960s. So now my wife and I prepare for a new administration and for a new baby.
President Kennedy on this date in 1960. In 1988, George Herbert Walker Bush elected over Michael Dukakis, and in 2016, Donald Trump elected as President 45. Other things that took place on the 8th day of November: Montana admitted as the 41st state of the Union. The Bronx Zoo opened in 1899. In 1933, President Roosevelt unveiled the Civil Works Administration, an organization designed to create jobs for more than 4 million of the unemployed. In 1965, the soap opera Days of Our Lives debuted on NBC television.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Days of Our Lives, a new dramatic serial starring MacDonald Carey.
For almost 3 decades, MacDonald Carey, the central cast member of the show, he passed away of lung cancer in 1994. And for years thereafter, Carey's voice opened the program with those words, like sands through the hourglass, these are the days of our lives. Former Massachusetts Attorney General Edward Brooke became the first African-American elected to the Senate in 1966. Also in 1966, President Johnson signed into law an antitrust exemption allowing the National Football League to merge with the upstart American Football League. 1977, the fourth album of British rock group Led Zeppelin released, including one of the group's most well-known hits, Stairway to Heaven. The right ear of John Paul Getty III delivered to a newspaper on this date in 1973, along with a ransom note, convincing him, and his father, I should say, to pay $2.9 million in ransom. That would be over $20 million today. In 1979, ABC premiered a late-night news show, America Held Hostage, updating the audience on the latest on the Americans held hostage in Iran. The show would evolve into Nightline.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if someone could explain all those complicated Wall Street terms that the experts are always tossing around so we could all understand?
Yeah. So if you can't tell a put from a call, or if you're having trouble with your liquidity, join us tonight on Nightline.
We'll have some other experts, too.
World News Tonight anchor Frank Reynolds originally hosted the show, but Ted Koppel would eventually take over hosting duties. He would host the show until November of 2005 after 25 years as anchor of the show and 42 years with ABC. 1991, Marion Barry re-elected mayor of Washington, D.C. For the first time in 40 years, the Republican Party took control of the House and Senate in 1994 midterm congressional elections. 1999, Bruce Miller killed at his junkyard near Flint, Michigan, his wife Sherry Miller, who convinced her online lover Jerry Cassidy to kill him before later killing himself, convicted of the crime in what became the world's first internet murder. That's 24 years ago, 1999. In 2004, more than 10,000 U.S. troops and a small number of Iraqi army units participated in a siege on the insurgent stronghold of Fallujah in Iraq. And in 2013, Typhoon Haiyan, one of the strongest tropical cyclones ever recorded, struck the Visayas region of the Philippines. The storm left at least 6,340 people dead, over 1,000 still missing, and caused $2.86 billion in damage. And it is speculated that the number that were killed in Haiyan, over 10,000. Passing away on this date in history, Doc Holliday. Also, Dorothy Kilgallen, Wendell Corey, Ivory Joe Hunter, who put a spell on you, painter-illustrator Norman Rockwell, family circus creator Bill Keane, his son carries on the tradition of the family circus, and Alex Trebek. Among those born on this date in history, lithographer, game manufacturer Milton Bradley, also actress Esther Roll, Good Times, South African heart surgeon Christian Barnard, actor Joe Flynn, remember him from McHale's Navy, also actress Darla Hood, journalist Morley Saper, Minnie Ripperton, and Patty Page.
How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window? I do hope that doggy's for sale. I must take a trip to California and leave my poor sweetheart alone. If he has a dog, he won't be lonesome, and the doggy will have a good home.
Arf! Patty Page, born on this date in history. I Can't Make You Love Me, Bonnie Raitt, 74 today. From Hill Street Blues and St. Elsewhere, Alfre Woodard is 71. Chucky's in Love. Ricky Lee Jones, 69 years old. Teen Idol Life Garrett is 62 today. Chef Gordon Ramsay is 57. From Melrose Place and Ally McBeal, Courtney Thorne Smith, 56. From Marriage Boot Camp and Sharknado, Z-list actress Tara Reid is 48. And from the Osborne family, Jack Osborne, Ozzy's son, is 38 years old today. Though some of the people celebrating the 8th day of November is their birthday. If this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the Four Freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you.
And a crime-filled Wednesday starting out, and 76 years ago, November 8th, 1947, Gangbusters in the case of the Jersey Butcher Bandits. That's coming up next when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues in a moment.
Did you know that annually in our country, 340,000 homes are destroyed by fire? 11,000 lives and hundreds of millions of dollars are lost in these fires in homes. Don't run the risk in your own home of a costly and tragic fire, which can be prevented. Check now and regularly on the 5 simple points of fire prevention. First, don't smoke in bed or discard cigarettes or matches carelessly. 2, clean out old rags, newspapers, and other inflammables from the closets, attic, and cellar. 3, repair or replace broken or defective electrical wiring or electrical equipment. 4, use non-inflammable cleaning fluids. And 5, keep matches in a safe place, out of the reach of small children. It is a simple fact that nearly all the fires which destroy American homes could be prevented if these simple rules are followed. So, follow them in your own homes. Remember, don't gamble with fire. You can't win.
And on this Wednesday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox podcast, we go back 76 years to November 8th, 1947, and an episode of Phillips H. Lord's Gangbusters.
And now, in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, the only national program that brings you authentic police case histories. Gangbusters.
Tonight, former heavyweight champion of the world, Jim Braddock, narrates the case of the Jersey Butcher Bandits, who netted $250,000 in hot dollars until persistent detectives matched a cream-colored sedan with a snapshot taken on a bathing beach.
And now to Gangbusters and facts that show the operation of our law enforcement officials in their war against the underworld. Gangbusters has a special narrator for tonight's case, former heavyweight champion of the world, Jim Braddock.
The inside facts in the case of the Jersey Butcher Bandits.
You know, Mr. Braddock, Gangbusters listeners usually expect to hear our case histories narrated by police officials.
I know it, Don Gardner, and the name is Jim. The 2 detectives who worked on it are close friends of mine. One of them was my sparring partner. I saw them work for 48 hours without sleep and for weeks without taking a day off. So I called you up. I thought that I, as a citizen, should come and tell other citizens what our police are doing to protect us.
Well, when you got in touch with us, Jim, we thought it would be a splendid idea, so why don't you go right ahead?
All right, Don. Suppose we begin one day last summer. Several longshoremen were stretched out in the shade of large packing cases on the dock of the Hoboken, New Jersey. They had finished their lunch and were waiting for the whistle before they went back loading the freighter that was tied up alongside. The conversation naturally had turned to a subject on which they were all experts.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, that's what he did it in.
Ha! 141 and 3/5. You're talking through your hat, Sud. You don't know a thing about it.
Who don't know a thing about what? Where do you get off at being such a man with the figures?
I'm telling you, no horse ever ran a mile and a 16th in that time unless it was downhill and a truck was pulling him.
Oh, you don't think so, huh? How about that, Phil? He says I'm a liar, practically.
Be a liar. Who cares?
I care, that's so. No horse ever ran it in 141 and 3/5.
Okay, Suds, you got your opinion. How'd you like to back it up with a little cash?
Sure, I like to back it up with a little cash. And you can look it up in any record book you got.
You're on. For how much?
You name it. Anything up to $5.
Okay, that's enough talk about horses. You mean $500?
What do you think I mean, cigar coupons?
All right, there's the
whistle. Talk about it later. Let's get back to work. Oh, my back. Why do we always get tractors, Dello?
500. He never saw 500.
Didn't I? I'll show you what...
Suds.
Never saw $5.
If that whistle hadn't have blown, Suds would have kicked you right in the face.
Oh, for crying out loud, for what did I do?
500. What do you think we're working as dock wallopers for? To show how much money we got? Now get to work.
Okay.
I'll see you after the shift. We'll pick up Whitey and go over the deal for tonight.
Hello?
Detective Sullivan?
Yes?
Mike Hoser. Sorry if I woke you, Pat, but those boys have been at it again.
Another butcher?
Yep. They broke in the house, took $4,000 a guy had in his desk.
The butchers don't stop keeping so much cash around the house, they'll all be broke.
Well, there might be an angle in this one.
Yeah?
We got hold of a fellow who lives down the street from the butcher. He saw a car around earlier that looked suspicious.
Oh, what kind of a car?
A cream-colored job, a sedan. A late model, New Jersey license.
Oh.
He got the last 2 numbers, 9-1, but that's all he could make out.
Well, that's better than nothing. I'll get dressed and come on down, Hoser. Where are you?
Chief of Regular's office.
Okay, you wait there for me. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
What a racket. Butchers.
Just look where you're driving, Suds. We know it's good.
How about it, Whitey? Did you ever see anything so soft? It's like standing out in the rain with a bucket. You can't help catching something.
Suds, you put it quaintly.
Listen to him, Phil. I put it quaintly. What was so quaint about that $4,000 tonight?
All right, stop jabbering about it, will you?
What do you say we all go out and celebrate?
You two go ahead. Just drop me there at the next corner.
What's the matter, Whitey?
Nothing's the matter. I've got a date. Yeah? With who? Oh, you don't know her, Phil.
And I bet you don't want her. Did you ever meet one of them tomatoes he runs with?
What do you say we come with you, Whitey? I'll buy you a drink. Some other time. You don't mind, Phil. Not tonight.
No, not tonight, Phil. He's all engaged up.
What are you looking for, Suds?
Me? What did I do?
Just stop the car and let me out. Stop it, Suds.
Okay.
You'll be in touch with me, Phil?
I'll be in touch with you.
Good night. Thanks.
So long, Whitey.
What's he thanking you for?
How should I know? Get going.
Okay.
Take it easy, will you? You want to buy me a new clutch?
Oh, look, Phil, don't get sore at me just because Whitey ain't sociable. Guy's gonna be a burglar, he ought to act like one. Not like somebody from a dancing school.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah, well, what's he doing while we're breaking our backs dock walloping? He don't like to talk to us. I like to know what he tells those fancy dames of his.
Suds, just remember one thing. Without Whitey, we're not in business. No Whitey, no butchers. No butchers, no dough.
Well, we can dig up some other guy. There's a million guys that can get information like that.
Look, Suds, I'll take care of the personnel problems around here. You just drive. I want to get to bed.
Hello, Chief Recchio.
Hello, Chief. Have a seat, Sullivan.
Thanks, Chief.
Sergeant Moser.
Thanks.
All right, now, what's this idea?
Well,
we thought,
Chief...
You tell him, Pat.
Okay. Chief, we know the last two numbers of the car. We know it was a cream-colored job, probably a Dodge. We want to go through all the Jersey registrations and see if we can't locate a car that fits that description with the last two numbers, 9-1.
Well, you know, there's over 1 million cars registered in the state.
We know it, Chief.
And that car might not even have been involved in the burglary last night.
So you don't think it's such a good idea, then?
Oh, just a minute, Sergeant. Who said it wasn't a good idea? These men have burglarized the homes and held up the shops of 12 butchers. Their take has run to nearly $250,000. Is there any chance at all of getting them? I'm for it.
Okay, Chief, we'll get busy on the registrations right away.
Just a minute.
Yes, sir?
Let me call Trenton. I think their card sorting machines can save you a little work checking through those registration lists.
All right, I'm coming.
Hello, Kay, honey.
Whitey. Oh, Whitey, let's never fight again.
I wasn't looking for a fight, honey. I was in a bad mood last night, and I'm sorry.
But you said you'd be here at 10 o'clock. It was nearly 1 this morning before you came.
Kay, I had business. I should have phoned. I didn't. I'm sorry. Here's something for you.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Oh, Whitey. I love you so.
Have you got a drink around here anyplace?
Oh, sure. Whitey, let's get married. Let's get married right away.
I'd love to, honey. More than anything in the world.
Then why don't we?
Well...
Well, what?
I don't know. I can't, that's all.
I know you do all right in business. You always got plenty of money.
Well, money's got nothing to do with it.
Then what is
I've got to make up my mind about something.
About what?
Look, Kay, get me that drink. I've got to go.
Go? Where?
Business. I've got to go out on business.
Whitey, if we're going to keep on, this has got to stop. I can't wait here night after night wondering whether you're going to show up or not. I can't sit around worrying about you.
Okay, don't worry about me. Don't even think about me. Don't... Oh, honey, I'm sorry.
You're always sorry, Whitey.
Yeah, I know it. Goodbye, Kay. I'll phone you.
What about that drink?
Forget it. I'm late now. So long.
Sergeant Hoser speaking.
Hello, Hoser. Pat Sullivan.
Well, how are you making out down in Trenton?
Okay, I think I've got something we can go on.
I hope you have. They got another butcher last night.
I was afraid of that.
The guy in Cliffside Park, they took over $12,000 from him.
He was hiding it in a bookcase.
Well...
what did you find out?
There's half a dozen or so cars that fit the description, but one looks really interesting.
Yeah?
Did you ever handle a guy named DeFelice? Philip DeFelice?
I sure did. I sent him up about 5 years ago.
Well, he owns a brand-new cream-colored Dodge sedan. License number HO691.
Well, that looks like a ticket, doesn't it?
You said it, Hoser. It really looks like the ticket. Look, I'm leaving Trenton in an hour. As soon as I get back, let's make arrangements to grab this DeFelice with the goods.
So, Don, Sergeant Hose and Detective Sullivan had their first lead to the criminals they sought. But they learned that weeks of patient waiting were ahead before they could make their move.
You were telling us, Jim, that Detective Sullivan and Sergeant Hoser had used a slim clue to trace an automobile observed near the scene of one of a dozen burglaries that had plagued northern New Jersey.
That's right, Don. One night, DeFelice and a criminal known as Suds were in a Hoboken bar, unaware that the two detectives were seated a few tables away.
Well, where is he? He's been sitting around this joint all night. Not that I mind.
Well, if you don't mind, Suds, shut up about it.
Look, Phil, what do we have to keep worrying about Whitey for? Let's forget about the guy and do this on our own.
Get some sense, will you?
Now, there's guys with dough besides butchers.
I'll take the butchers, and so will you. They're in the kind of business where they can lay away a lot of cash, and they're doing it.
Okay, but Whitey ain't the only guy that can get information. I know a guy in Bayonne.
I know 40 guys in Bayonne, but there isn't one that's got Whitey's touch. We need him. So lay off, will you?
I'm sick of that guy. Moping around all the time about a dame. One dame, how about that?
All right, here he comes. Keep quiet.
Quiet. Have to quiet him over the edge this once.
Oh, hello, Phil. Suds, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Time don't mean nothing to us.
Sit down, Whitey.
Thanks.
What do you want to drink? An orange blossom?
Listen, I've had enough of your wisecracks.
Yeah, college boy? Well, who do you
right.
think?
Cut it out. Now listen to me. I'll tell you how we work the deal tonight.
Before you do, Phil, I've got something to say.
Well, get it off your chest. We got business.
What is it, Whitey?
I've been doing a lot of thinking the last couple of days, Phil.
So?
Tonight's my last job. I'm quitting.
You what?
I'm through. I'm quitting.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Suds. And, why are you quitting?
I want to get married.
Well, get married. Who cares if you're married? You gave us another couple of months' work, Whitey. And I want you along.
I'm through, Phil. After tonight.
Well, let's buy a drink and celebrate.
Suds, wait for us in the car.
But, Phil,
Wait for us in the car.
Okay. See you outside, but make it snappy.
Who's the girl, Whitey? That Kay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice dish. You wouldn't like her to find out what you do for a living, would you?
You crack a word to her, Phil, and I'll kill you, I swear.
Don't make me laugh, Whitey. You're not the killing kind. You got more sense. We made $250,000, Whitey. This is a big-time operation. Clean and safe. I want to keep it up. Remember that. Let's go.
Tonight's the last one, Phil.
Is it? We'll see. Hey, wait a minute.
What?
There's an old friend of mine.
So what?
Wait here a minute. I want to say hello to this guy.
Okay, but make it snappy.
Well, Sergeant Hoser. How are you?
Hello, Phil. What are you doing these days?
Oh, I'm a reformed character, Sergeant. You taught me a lesson. I'm working hard in the docks.
Glad to hear it.
I just thought I'd drop over and say hello. So long.
So long.
Got to get up early for work tomorrow.
See that, Sullivan?
Yeah, that guy sure got a lot of nerve. I'd say he's pretty sure of himself.
You don't think he's wise that we've been on his tail?
No, I don't think so. But we'd better stay away from him tonight.
Yeah. Okay. That blonde fella he was with, he's been around enough to be the third man in the deal.
Maybe. If we can get a chance to make a picture of him, maybe we can find out who he is.
Well, if I see any chance to get that picture, I'll let you know. Come on. Let's call it a night.
Yeah. Waiter. Waiter.
for 3 masked bandits held up drive-in restaurant Route 4. Escape with $4,000. 3 masked bandits escape with $4,000 cash.
I don't know, Chief. I'd lay my bottom dollar it was them. They were in the neighborhood.
Well, maybe, Sullivan, but there's nobody that can identify them. Have you got anything more on the other 2?
Well, this one they call Suds. His real name is Carlo Rinzuelo. 10 arrests.
Oh,
robbery.
excuse me, Sergeant.
Yeah, sure.
Chief Arrecchio talking.
Hello, Chief. Sergeant Hoser.
Yes, Sergeant?
Is Sullivan around there?
Yeah, sitting right here. Just a minute. Sergeant Hoser back.
Oh, thanks. Hello, Hoser. What's up?
They're all at the Palisades Park swimming pool.
All 3 of them?
Yep. The third boy's with a girl, a good-looking number. The police and Suds got here a little while later. Looks like they're keeping an eye on the third one.
No kidding. Say, look, this may be our chance to get those pictures.
Yeah, bet it might be.
Look, I've got an idea, Hoser. I'll go by the house and pick up my little girl. We'll be there in less than an hour.
I told you, Kay, I'm getting things worked out. Maybe in another week or so.
I don't understand you, Whitey. You're talking such riddles.
There won't be any more riddles, baby. Everything's going to be on the square. Someday I'll tell you the whole story. Someday, maybe years from now.
All right, Whitey. Someday.
Hello, Whitey. I should tell a guy you were going swimming. Oh, Phil. Suds.
How you doing, Whitey? Don't answer me. I see you're doing okay.
Whitey,
It's all right, honey. You don't mind if we sit down, do you, Whitey?
Why should he mind? It's a public swimming pool.
A little too public. Whitey's told me a lot about you, honey.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I hear you kids are getting married. Very interesting. Kay, you've been sitting in the sun too long. Why don't you take a dip?
But Whitey,
Sun's good for a Whitey.
Yeah, great. Makes it tan.
Go ahead, Kay.
All right, Whitey.
Get cooled off.
I'll be back in a minute.
Whitey. Yeah? What's gonna cool me off? Why don't you take a dip?
Listen, wise guy, no cracks.
Okay, Suds. You know, Whitey, maybe you'll be a happy guy married. Maybe you won't. What do you mean?
I mean, maybe you won't get married at all.
No?
Maybe I ought to do this Kay a favor. Maybe it's the right thing to let her know what kind of a guy she's getting.
You try...
Still waiting?
Okay. Let go.
We got a job Sunday, Whitey. I want a lot of jobs after that. You're coming with us?
Hold it, Phil.
How's this, Daddy?
That's fine, Eileen. Now smile.
Oh, shit.
Smile,
Keep
honey.
quiet, will you?
That's it. And now we'll make sure. Let me try another one.
Yes,
Oh,
Daddy.
for crying out loud.
Suds.
That's it, honey. Hold it. There.
I hope the pictures are good, Daddy.
I think they will be. You're a fine model.
Now remember, Whitey, you keep working, or the dame gets an earful.
Okay, Phil. If you say so. I guess I keep working.
I guess you do. And keep that head on your shoulders. We got a big one Sunday. Come on, Suds.
Yeah, right with you.
Now, back to Jim Braddock, former heavyweight champion of the world. Now, you've told us, Jim, that Detectives Sullivan and Hoser make some interesting pictures at a swimming pool.
Yes, Don. And as soon as they were developed, several victims identified Whitey as the salesman who came to call on them. But meanwhile, other important events were taking place.
Hello?
Hello, honey.
Whitey.
Get your things packed, Kay. We're leaving tonight.
Leaving? For where?
I don't know. Any place we can get married.
Oh, Whitey.
I'll be by around 7, honey. Be ready.
Well, I don't know what to pack if I don't know where we're going.
Pack everything. We'll be gone a long time. Maybe for good.
All right, Sud, stop here.
Right.
All set, Whitey?
Yeah, I guess so.
What do you mean you guess so?
I hope nobody's home.
There's nobody home. I saw him go out myself. Come on, Whitey. Well, are you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Park it around the corner, Suds.
Okay, Phil.
And walk up to the house and knock. I'll let you in. All right, let's get inside, Whitey. There's about $6,000 in that house someplace. Take the side door, huh, Whitey?
Yeah,
Here, the side door should be easiest.
Chief.
What's up, Jose?
Sullivan just called. He followed the three of them to a house on Bergen Boulevard. He watched them break in.
They still inside?
Yes, Chief. He wants us to hurry right over.
Your car downstairs?
Yes, sir. It's all ready.
Well, let's go.
Whitey.
What?
When you stop daydreaming and help Suds look around for that dough, how long do you think we can stay in here?
Okay, take it easy. How about the china closet, Suds?
I looked in there. See if there's any pangs just pinned up in back of those drapes.
Well, go on and look, will you?
Okay, Hey!
Get away from that window.
Phil!
What?
Cops! 1,000 of them!
You kid, get down. All right, both of you, crawl over here.
What are we gonna do, Phil? How are we gonna get out?
Shut up, will you? Stick on the floor and keep quiet.
The three of you, come out. Come out with your hands up. The place is surrounded.
Come on, let's get out.
Keep your head down.
Come out in 10 seconds, or we'll fire.
We'll go upstairs. We'll hold them off from there.
We haven't got a chance.
What are you, yeller?
Yeah, what if I am? I'm no dope.
Why, you ought to get down. Machine guns. Who counted on machine guns?
Shut up.
Come on, Phil, let's give up.
We're going upstairs. We're going to hold them from there.
Come out. Come out now.
Don't shoot.
Whitey!
Don't shoot. I give up.
Whitey, wait for me.
Whitey! Suds, come back here!
Don't shoot. We give up.
Oh, there. Walk down here with your hands up.
Okay, we're coming. We're coming.
That's far enough, Whitey.
Where's the police?
He's upstairs. I think he went upstairs.
Oh, my Lord. What a mess.
You should have thought about that some time ago.
Come on, Jose.
Right.
He's got a gun.
All right, men. These two in the car.
Hold it.
Yeah. Kick the door open.
Yeah. There he goes. Upstairs.
Come on, Sullivan. You went in that first room.
Watch it, Jose. He'll shoot if he can.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Come on out of there, Phil. Come on out.
Let's go in and get him.
Right.
Push the door open and jump back. Come on out, Phil.
Let's get him.
Under the bed.
Come on out.
Okay, I'm coming. Take it easy.
First, slide that gun out.
Here it comes.
Now you crawl out.
All right. Take it easy now, will you? Just take it easy.
Up on your
that's
feet.
all.
Up on your feet.
All right,
he said.
all right.
We waited a long time for this, mister. Just walk. We're right behind you. And this time we know where you're going.
So, Don, that was how Detective Pat Sullivan and Sergeant Hoser wrote a successful end to the case on which they spent weeks and weeks of hard work. The criminals were all convicted and received long sentences.
Well, Jim, those officers deserve all the credit in the world for a really fine job.
They certainly do, and I'd like you to meet one of them right now in person. Detective Pat Sullivan, meet Don Gardner.
How do you do, Detective Sullivan?
Hello, Don.
We're certainly glad to have you on Gangbusters.
It's a pleasure to be here. And before I forget, I've been asked to say hello to you and your Gangbuster audience by Detective Sergeant Mike Hoser.
Well, you two certainly made a winning pair in the case we dramatized tonight.
Thanks, Don. And we owe a lot to our chiefs, Joseph Steinell of North Bergen and Frank Burrell of Cliffside Park, for letting us work together on this case.
Oh, and say, speaking of winning pairs, you and your daughter didn't do so badly either.
That's right, Don. Little Eileen has always kept tabs on all my work.
Well, you know, one thing puzzles me, Detective Sullivan. These butcher bandits, during their criminal careers, got away with about $250,000, and none of this money was recovered. Can you explain this?
I think so, Don. You see, as the investigation went on, we learned that one of the criminals had bought 2 racehorses. One was named Caffeine, and the other Sweet Barbara. But neither of these nags ever crossed under the wire as a winner, even though the gang kept up a blind confidence.
And that's where all the money went?
Most of it, we think. The rest was used to keep them in their short-lived high style.
And now, instead of looking into race betting windows, They're all peering out of prison cells.
That's about it, Don.
Well, thank you, Detective Pat Sullivan, for coming here tonight and being our guest on Gangbusters. And also to you, former heavyweight champion Jim Braddock.
It was a pleasure, Don. The only thing I didn't like about it was not being able to sit in my chair at home and listen to Gangbusters.
Well, that you can do next Saturday night, Jim.
I'll be listening, Don. Good night.
Leading roles were played by Roger DeKoven and Charles Irving. Don Gardner speaking. Gangbusters is a Phillips H. Lord production.
From 76 years ago, November 8th, 1947, Gangbusters. When Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues, we'll have an episode of Bob Bailey and Virginia Gregg, Let George Do It.
At this time of the year, we spend a lot of time out of doors, hiking and camping and on picnic trips in the woods and the mountains. That means more danger of forest fires. This summer, thousands of acres of valuable timberland will be destroyed because of carelessness. And in these days of defense emergency, our natural resources are more vital than ever. It's up to you to be sure that you do not cause the tragedy, the shameful waste brought about by a forest fire. Just follow a few simple rules. Crush out cigarettes, cigar, and pipe ashes. Break matches in two after using them. Drown all campfires, then stir and drown them again. Find out the law before using any kind of fire. Forest fires destroy timber, wildlife, and the water supply. They destroy the natural resources on which our nation depends. So don't be careless for a moment when you're in the mountains or woodlands. Forest fires are our most shameful waste. So remember, only you can prevent forest fires. Now, Act 2 of Tales of the Texas Rangers.
Well, not much picnicking this time of year. All right, let's head out west to the West Coast network of the Mutual Don Lee Network. Bob Bailey, Virginia Gregg, from 77 years ago today, November 8th, 1946. Let George Do It, and The Robber.
Your neighborhood Chevron gas station invites you to Let George Do It. Brought to you by the makers of climate-tailored Chevron Supreme Gasoline and RPM Compounded Motor Oil. George Valentine would be the last person in the world to take a job that was not exciting, even with a large salary attached. That's why he opened his office and advertised to solve any problem, for a fee, of course. Well, he's had his excitement, all right, sometimes more excitement than he bargained for. Right now, George, his secretary, Claire, and Sonny are driving along in his car.
Valentine, why so much mystery? Where are we going? Just playing hooky from the office, huh, Mr. Valentine? We can't afford to play hooky, Mr. Valentine. You know that.
Have you two ever heard of the Harding Bookshop?
Not I. Never. Why? Should we have?
Well, that's where we're going.
To buy a book? Of course not, Sonny. Mr. Valentine has a book.
Here, bright girl, take a look at this newspaper clipping.
What does it say, sis? William Harding, eccentric owner of the Harding Bookshop, died in his sleep last night. He leaves his widow Harriet and a nephew Frank. Mr. Harding had been in poor health.
Okay, that's enough.
Well, what about it? Man dies in his sleep. Where do we come in?
Well, his widow phoned. She wants me to meet her at the bookshop at 11. She made it sound urgent.
Jeepers, I wonder why she wants to see you.
An eccentric book dealer dies in his sleep. His widow is very anxious to see me. Kids, I don't know what it's all about, but it has all the ingredients for some real excitement.
It's no use, Mr. Valentine. The bookshop's closed. Maybe Mrs. Harding hasn't arrived yet.
Wait a minute. I think I hear someone in there.
I'm sorry, but we're not open for business. The shop is closed.
Oh, Mrs. Harding, I'm Mr. Valentine, and these are my assistants.
Oh, of course. I've been expecting you. Come in.
Suffering cats. Look at the place. Books scattered all over.
Yeah. Somebody been searching for something, Mrs. Harding?
You can see why I called you. Someone broke in here last night.
Did you phone the police?
No, I didn't.
No? Why not?
Because I think it was an inside job. The windows were securely locked. They don't look as though they'd been tampered with. Someone unlocked the door and walked right in.
I see. You suspect someone in your family. That's why you didn't phone the police.
Mr. Valentine, I won't try to keep anything from you. I suspect my husband's nephew, Frank.
Did he have keys to the shop?
As far as I know, my husband and I had the only keys.
But you must have some reason for suspecting Frank.
Well, he's always been a wild boy. I never had any use for him. My husband was fond of him. He even had Frank helping here in the shop.
Mrs. Harding, just what was this person looking for, do you know?
Money.
Money?
I'm not sure, of course, but I think my husband had some money hidden away here.
Uh-huh.
You may have heard my husband was, well, he was odd. Could be like him to hide the money in his shop.
Then he mentioned some money to you?
He always said that we'd be well taken care of in our old age, and yet he died penniless.
I see. And just what do you want me to do?
If there's any money here, I want you to find it. I'll pay you, of course.
Oh, of course. But the shop's already been searched. Maybe the money's been found.
I don't think so. You see, I frightened the person away.
Oh, then you saw someone.
I just caught a glimpse of someone running away. It was dark, but I think it was a man.
Mm-hmm. Why did you come down here last night, Mrs. Harding?
I wanted to look around myself.
Oh, yes, of course. All right, Mrs. Harding, I'll keep in touch with you. Come on, kids.
I'll be waiting to hear from you.
Let's go, kids.
What do you make of it, Mr. Valentine?
Say, quite a girl, isn't she? Her husband dies, and that same night she's down at his shop looking for any money he may have hidden.
Well, why don't we stay here and search the shop?
Because someone beat us to it, Sonny. Besides, I want to know a little more about this case. And a little more about Harding's death, too.
Mr. Valentine, do you think he was murdered?
I'm just guessing. Come on, let's go to the car.
Hey, wait a minute. I want a word with you.
Jeepers, I wonder who that is.
Must be the nephew.
I just want to warn you not to believe half of what my aunt tells you. She's not herself. She's hysterical.
Oh. Well, I don't agree with you, Frank. Your aunt seems unusually calm, considering.
Calm? She called you in, didn't she? She knew what she was doing. Why would she call in a private investigator?
How did you know I'd been called in?
Well, you were, weren't you? Suppose she told you there's some money hidden away. That's a lot of baloney.
Is it?
You're just wasting your time. They said some money disappeared after my father died, too, but we never found any. There's always that kind of talk when some eccentric dies.
Just when did your father die?
5 years ago.
Uh-huh. Frank, were you with your uncle when he passed away?
No. It was during the day. I was in the shop with my aunt. Miss Barry phoned us.
Miss Barry?
Alice Barry, the nurse. My uncle's known her since she was a child. Of course, she's a young woman now. Very attractive, too.
Okay, Frank. See you again sometime.
No, you won't. I'm going to tell Aunt Harriet to call you off.
Yeah, do that.
You think she'll listen to him, Mr. Valentine?
No, she doesn't trust him. Claire, I want you to get all the information you can on Harding's death and meet me here.
Here?
Yeah, in front of the bookshop about 10 o'clock tonight. And Sonny.
Yes, sir?
Get down to the Evening Express. Talk to Ben Steele. He's a friend of mine. He'll let you look through the old newspaper files.
But what am I going to be looking for?
Well, Frank's father died 5 years ago. Get what you can on it.
Okay, Mr. Valentine. Hey, what are you going to be doing?
Oh, he's going to talk to the nurse, of course.
Why, Claire, how did you guess?
Oh, she's young and attractive. Naturally, you'd want to investigate that yourself, Mr. Valentine.
Mr. Harding had been ill for years. There was nothing mysterious about his death. But don't take my word for it. Talk to Dr. Mark.
Oh, I'd rather talk to you, Miss Barry.
And I know Mr. Harding didn't leave any money. You're wrong about that, too. If you don't mind my saying so.
Miss Barry, when a woman is beautiful, she can toss my theories into the ash can, and I don't open my mouth.
I'll find that out after I get to know you better.
Oh? You're going to know me better?
Of course.
What makes you think Harding didn't leave any money?
Because he couldn't even afford to pay me a salary. He gave me this box of old phonograph records instead.
I see. Miss Barry.
Alice.
Alice?
Alice.
Alice, did Harding die in his sleep?
Oh, yes.
Then he didn't say anything before he died?
Well, he mumbled something.
Mumbled something? What, could you tell?
I suppose he thought he was a little boy again, listening to Mother Goose.
Why, what did he say?
Mary had a lamb.
Mary had a lamb. Are you sure?
Well, the words Mary and lamb were plain enough.
Uh-huh. Look, here's my card. If you think of anything else, give me a buzz, will you?
I'll give you a buzz.
Oh, good. Say, how does that verse go? Do you remember?
Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow.
Oh, yeah. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go.
You're late.
I was detained.
By the nurse?
Now, never mind.
What are we going to do, Mr. Valentine?
Well, we're going to get inside this bookshop.
Hey, Mr. Valentine, where did you get those keys?
They've opened lots of doors. See? Never fail.
I'll try to find the light switch.
Now, don't bother. I'll use my flashlight. Sonny,
Yeah, Mr. Valentine?
stand near the window, will you? Let me know if you see anyone.
Okay.
Mr. Valentine, the books are all back in place.
Well, Mrs. Harding must be a neat housekeeper. Come on, Claire. Now, we're looking for the section that has books for children.
Then the nurse did give you a clue. Was she helpful?
Oh, yes. And beautiful.
Really? Tell me about it.
Well, I haven't time. Couldn't do it justice. Here we are now. Let's see. Peter Rabbit, Alice in Wonderland. Hey, look for Mother Goose.
Is she a blonde?
Yes. Treasure
A
Island.
natural blonde?
Oh, Claire, will you concentrate on Mother Goose?
Oh. Is this what you're looking for?
Yeah, good, good. Now find Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Why?
Oh, Claire.
Oh, all right. Little Jack Horner, little Miss Muffet. Mary had... Oh, here it is.
Good, good. Now read it.
Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, lamb was sure to go. Do you want all the verses?
Well, isn't there anything written on that page?
No.
Well, maybe there's some more Mother Goose books.
These are all there seem to be.
Okay, hang on to it.
Put your hands up.
Oh, Mr. Valentine.
Suffering cat.
Now, what are you doing here, Frank? Where did you come from?
I was in back. I've been waiting for someone to show up.
Why? What made you think someone would show up?
Well, the place was ransacked last night.
And you thought it might happen again tonight, huh?
You can't tell. And Harriet says she frightened the person away. He might come back.
Uh-huh. That may be why you're here. Or then again, you might be looking for the money yourself.
I told you there isn't any money.
Okay, Frank. Now put that gun away. You might hurt somebody.
And get out of here, all of you.
All right, we're going. Coming with us?
I'm going to stay here and keep an eye on things.
Hey, that's a very good idea, Frank. Just keep an eye on things. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. I can...
Oh, Mr. Valentine, it's a little late to be reading Mother Goose.
Well, look, here's what we've got so far, kids. Harding's brother, who's supposed to have money, dies, but he doesn't leave anything. On the other hand, Harding, who's supposed to be poor, tells his wife they'll be provided for in their old age.
Oh, I see. You think he had his brother's money.
And he hid it in his bookshop.
That's what Mrs. Harding thinks. And so does Frank.
Well, go on.
Well, this Mother Goose rhyme should lead us to the money.
Why?
Because Harding tried to tell Alice about it before he died.
Alice?
The nurse.
Oh, first name.
Oh, definitely.
Hey, who'd be phoning at this hour?
Hey, get it, will you, Claire?
Hello?
Is Mr. Valentine there?
Yes, who's calling?
Alice Barry.
Oh, just a minute. You're a nurse. And she's not a natural blonde. I can tell by her voice.
Have it your way. Hello, Alice.
Mr. Valentine, maybe I can help you after all.
Yeah, what's up?
Would you remember that Mr. Harding left me a box of records?
Yes?
Well, I was looking through the box of phonograph records when suddenly I... Oh,
Hello. Hello, Alice.
Mr. Valentine, what's the matter?
Something's happened to her. I've got to get over there quick.
Well, it'll take George a few minutes to get to Alice's apartment. Meantime, I'd like to tell you about a conversation I had recently. One of my Chevron dealer friends asked me the other day what qualities I look for in a gas station. So I said that first of all, I look for Chevron Supreme gasoline and RPM compounded motor oil. Well, that's easy, he said. Just keep your eye peeled for a cream, green, and burgundy station. That's your cue for Chevron. Then I told him that I'm a credit card user. Don't blame you, says he, and don't forget that Chevron credit cards are as good as gold at our station. So then I told him my favorite gas station must be a friendly place where I can depend on getting good service for my car. The dealer laughed and said, "Sure sounds like a Chevron gas station to me." We all had plenty of experience before branching out on our own. Now that we're in business for ourselves, we know how to keep our customers happy by keeping their cars in good shape. I had to agree with my friend. Chevron gas stations offer just about everything a motorist wants. Try them yourself and see. Well, George was about to get some important information. The nurse, Alice Barry, phoned him, but before she could explain, something happened to her. Now, it's a few minutes later. George is opening the door to her apartment.
Alice! Alice! Oh, you poor kid. Here. Let's get you up on that couch.
Oh.
Now, take it easy. You're going to be all right.
Oh, Mr. Valentine.
Wait a minute. I'm going to put you down here. There you are. Now, you better lie still for a few minutes. I'll get you a drink of water.
No, please don't leave me.
Don't be frightened. Hey, you've got a nasty-looking bruise on your forehead. Otherwise, you seem to be okay. How do you feel?
Oh, like I've got two heads.
Yeah, I'll bet. Want to tell me what happened?
Well, there isn't anything to tell. I was talking to you on the phone, and then it happened. Somebody took a sock at me.
Well, who was it? Don't you know?
No, he must have crept up and hit me from behind.
Behind?
Yes.
Oh, you didn't see him at all, huh?
No, for all I know, it might have been a woman.
Yeah. It might very well have been a woman. What about the records?
No, I guess they're gone. They were on that table over there.
That's bad luck.
Oh, don't worry about them. It was just an old bunch of records. Believe me, if all those endearing young charms, Who is Sylvia, and a few more like that.
But I thought you discovered something about them.
I guess the person who stole them thought so, too. No, Mr. Valentine, that's not why I phoned you.
Feel like telling me about it?
Of course. You see, while I was looking through the records, I got to thinking about Mr. Harding and what he'd said just before he died.
Yes?
I could almost see the whole thing all over again. He was moaning and tossing around in the bed. I ran to him and felt his pulse.
Go on.
I told you that he said Mary had a lamb. But now as I think back, Mr. Valentine, I'm almost certain he said Mary Hayden Lamb. Mary Hayden Lamb.
Mary Hayden Lamb. A woman's name?
That's right. Do you think it means anything?
Well, it must mean something. Yeah. It'll probably lead us right to the money. That is, if there is any money. Now, look, I gotta beat it. But I want you to lock the door behind me, understand?
Don't worry. After this, I'll always lock my door.
Good. Better put some ice on that forehead. It's turning a beautiful purple.
I'll be all right. Mr. Valentine.
Yeah?
If it does mean anything, will you let me in on it? I feel as though I have a stake in this now.
Oh, I don't blame you. Okay, Alice. I'll keep in touch with you. Hey, open up. Hey, Mr. Ward. Mr. Ward, hey, open up.
Wait a minute. Wait. You out of your mind? What are you doing here at this hour?
I want to buy a book.
Well, go away. We're closed. Come back in the morning.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Don't close the door, Mr. Ward. I gotta have something to read tonight.
You realize it's after 11?
I know. I'm terribly sorry, but let me in, will you?
Oh, all right. Come in. Other people have sane customers, but I suppose it's got to be a mystery with at least 6 murders in it.
Mr. Ward, did you ever hear of a book called Mary Hayden Lamb?
Never, no.
Are you sure? I came here because you have a reputation for knowing every book that's ever been published.
There's never been a book published by that name. Now, however, if you were to ask if there were ever a novelist by that name, I'd give you a different answer.
A novelist? Hey, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Well, tell me about it, will you?
Well, she was a local writer, and to my knowledge, she wrote but one book, thank heaven.
Why do you say that?
Because it's by far the worst trash it's ever been my bad luck to read.
I see. What's it called?
Isle of Love. It's about a girl and an island and a man, and if you want something to put you to sleep, I'll personally guarantee you your money back.
Then you've got a copy, huh?
One. Almost sold it this afternoon.
Almost sold it? Is that so? Someone wanted it, huh?
Well, asked me about it anyway. But evidently I had the good taste to turn it down. I found it on the counter when I was putting my books away.
Well, who asked to see the book, Mr. Ward? Do you remember?
Certainly not. I do a big business, young man, and I can't keep track of every customer who walks into my shop. Unless they make a special impression by getting me out of bed at this unearthly hour.
Okay. Anyway, you've made a sale. I'll take Isle of Love.
No, you've made a bad choice. Here you are. Marked down to 89 cents. And, young man, believe me, I'm cheating you.
Hey, Claire, Sonny, come on, wake up.
Oh, hello, Mr. Valentine. May we go home now, slave driver?
Oh, I'm sorry, kids. I know it's late, but we can't stop now. Don't dare take the chance. Somebody may be getting desperate.
What do you mean? What do you expect to happen?
Oh, nothing if I can beat him to it. Now, Claire, I've got a job for you. How are you in the charm department?
Charm?
Yeah, that's right. Have you got any? Don't answer that.
Whom do I have to charm?
Frank.
The nephew? I quit.
Hey, I knew he was suspicious. As soon as I saw him, I said to myself, now there's
Shut
a
up,
guy...
will you, Sonny? Claire, I want you to get Frank out of the bookshop tonight.
So that you can get in there without his seeing.
That's the idea. Think you can do it?
Oh, it should be simple, even if my hair isn't blonde. Oh, don't worry, Mr. Valentine. I'll take care of Frank. that gun down, Frank. It's Claire.
Oh. You're Mr. Valentine's assistant, aren't you? What do you want?
Well, Mr. Valentine's just down the street at your aunt's house.
What do you want?
Well, I was with them, but then they wanted to talk alone, so... Well, they sort of left me stranded. Don't I look stranded?
Yeah.
Well, your aunt was giving Mr. Valentine an earful. She's not very fond of you, is she?
You can't forget that I was once a wild kid. I've straightened out since then.
Oh, I can see that.
What do you want?
I want to come in. Use the phone to call a cab.
Why didn't you stop at a drugstore?
Oh, well, all right if that's the way you feel about it. Good night.
Wait a minute. Pretty late for you to be wandering around.
I knew you had fine instincts, Frank.
Oh, all right. Come on. I'll take you in my car.
Okay, Sonny, come on.
The coast clear?
Yeah, they just drove away in Frank's car. Now, don't turn on the lights.
Excuse me for asking, Mr. Valentine, but just what are we looking for?
We are looking for a book.
More Mother Goose?
No, The Isle of Love. There ought to be a copy just like this one somewhere in here.
Well, why do you want two copies?
Don't you understand, Sonny? I've got to have Mr. Harding's copy of this book.
Oh. No, I don't understand.
Never mind. Just start looking.
Yeah, but Mr. Valentine, there's at least 1,000 books in the shop.
Let's see now. Mary Hayden Lamb was a local writer. Now, why would Harding choose her book unless... Hey, wait a minute. I think I got it, Sonny. He must have known her.
What of it?
That means it would be Harding's personal book, see?
Oh. No, I don't see.
Come on, there's a little room in back of the store. Remember? That's where Frank was hiding the last time we were here.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, come on.
It's dark.
Careful now. Here we are. I'll look around with my flashlight. Now, let's see.
Hey, there's a desk, Mr. Valentine.
Are there any books on it?
Sure.
Read the titles.
Webster's Dictionary, The Complete Shakespeare, Cooking for Fun, and The Isle...
The Isle of Love. That's it. Grab it, Sonny, and let's get out of here.
Okay, Mr. Valentine.
We'll take it back to the office.
Hey, aren't we ever going to get to sleep tonight?
We haven't time. Now, let's get to the car. Sonny, duck.
Jeepers, what was that?
Somebody took a shot at it.
Mr. Valentine.
It's all right, Sonny, you missed.
Yeah, but let's get out of here quick. I don't think that person likes us. And then somebody started shooting at us. Oh, it was plenty exciting, sis.
You're lucky. Frank's a bore. His conversation is brilliant. It's either yes or yeah.
I guess it was Mrs. Harding shooting at us, huh, Mr. Valentine? Because Frank was with Claire.
Not for long.
No?
No, he just took me to a cab stand.
I see. Run out of charm?
Oh.
Jeepers, Mr. Valentine, you've just about taken that book apart.
Well, there's nothing in here. No secret compartment, no writing on the pages. I can't find a thing.
Well, then let's go home and get some sleep.
No, we can't stop now. Okay, kids, make yourselves comfortable.
What are you going to do?
Well, I'll have to start reading the book.
Aloud?
Certainly. I might miss something.
You're going to read all of it?
That's right. Here we go. The summer sun was setting in a blaze of glory, casting its light like a shimmering ribbon of golden orange across the lake. On the bank, her wavy hair streaming from her uplifted head, stood Jennifer.
Oh, I can tell this is going to be a classic.
Perhaps her dream of love was to become a reality, for coming toward her was a canoe, and in the canoe was a man.
Mr. Valentine. You think Sonny's old enough?
Oh, keep quiet, will you? Jennifer sighed longingly. Sonny. Perhaps her stay on the island was at an end. Her face was alive with expectancy. Weeks had gone by. Jennifer knew that this was her man.
What choice did she have on a desert island?
In spite of his aloofness, in spite of his air of mystery, Jennifer knew that she loved him. And then a wonderful thing. He knelt beside her and kissed her.
Well, it's about time.
Oh, she said, then you do love me.
Naive creature, isn't she?
Yes, he answered. I love you with all my heart. If you don't believe me, look carefully when the grandfather's clock strikes the hour of midnight. And I love you, too, she told
Wait
her.
a minute. What was that again?
And I love you, too, she told her.
No. Go back to where he loves her.
Oh, yes, he answered. I love you with all my heart. If you don't believe me, look carefully when the grandfather's clock strikes the hour of midnight.
Hey, that doesn't make sense.
Hey, wait a minute. The printing on this page looks a little different. Yeah, so does the paper. Claire, get my copy of the book.
Here it is.
Okay, turn to page 82. Come on. Okay, now read that part.
Yes, he answered. I love you with all my heart. I swear it, Jennifer.
That's enough. This is it, kid. Mr. Harding printed this page himself. Look carefully when the grandfather's clock strikes the hour of midnight.
Mr. Valentine, there's a grandfather's clock in the bookshop.
That's right, Sonny. And there's where that money must be hidden. Claire, get Mrs. Harding on the phone. Tell her to meet us at the bookshop right away.
At this hour?
And then phone Frank at the shop. Tell him to expect us.
All right.
Oh, and Claire, phone Miss Berry, will you? She wanted to be in on the kill.
Oh, now you've got me phoning your blonde for you. Well, whatever you say, Mr. Valentine.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Valentine? Why don't you give me my money?
You mean my money, Aunt Harriet? Now, don't fight over the money. We don't even know if there is any.
Then why did you call up here?
And why bring Alice into this? Well, if there is any money, you'll have to thank Alice. She gave me the clue.
Then it really was a clue, Mr. Valentine.
That's right, Alice. It led me to a book. And in the book, I found some words that Mr. Harding printed. It said, look carefully when the grandfather's clock strikes the hour of midnight.
The grandfather's clock. I'm going to see about
this. Now, take it easy, Frank.
Now, Frank, that's not your property. Get away from that clock.
There's nothing in here.
The clue didn't say there was something in the clock. It said, look carefully when the grandfather's clock strikes the hour of midnight.
Well, it's striking 12 now.
Well, what's different about the clock when it strikes 12 than at any other time?
When it strikes 12, both hands point up.
Smart girl, Claire. Sonny, hand me that chair.
Okay. You think there's something on top of the clock?
No, above it. On the wall here. Yeah, see? There's a false panel.
Need any help?
Oh, thanks, Frank. I think I can do it with the heel of my hand. That does it.
What is it?
Is there something in there?
Yes, a package.
What's in it?
Just a minute, I'll see. Well. Bills, large denominations, and lots of them.
Let me have that.
Now, don't rush it. Hey, there's a note here, too.
What does it say?
Mrs. Harding, is this your husband's handwriting?
No, it isn't.
That's my father's handwriting. You see, the money is mine.
Not so fast, Frank.
Well, what does the note say?
It says, Dear Brother Bill, I'm leaving this money in your care. Frank is too wild to be trusted with it. When he settles down, you can give it to him.
Then give it to him.
Wait a minute, there's more. There's a condition I attach to this. Frank must provide for you and your wife as long as either of you shall live.
Is that all?
That's it, Mrs. Harding.
Then it is Frank's money. Give it to him. He doesn't have to provide for me.
No, this money is for both of us, Aunt Harriet.
Well, that's more than I deserve, Frank.
You can stop talking right now and hand that money over.
Alice!
Give it to me, Mr. Valentine, and hurry up about it.
I never argue with a beautiful woman, especially when she has a gun in her hand.
Mr. Valentine, was she the one who was after the money all along?
That's right. When she phoned me and got bumped on the head, I thought it was funny I didn't hear the blow over the telephone. And if she was hit from behind, why was the bruise on the forehead?
Never mind the explanations. Hand that over.
Then she's the one who shot at her.
Certainly. She couldn't get in here to look for the book because Frank was guarding the place. First, she tried to put me off the track with that Mother Goose stuff. But she finally gave me the right clue. She figured if she told me the truth, I'd get the money and she'd tail me and pick it up.
That's enough out of you, Mr. Valentine. Give me the money.
Oh, certainly. Here you are, Miss Berry.
But, Mr. Valentine...
Now, don't try to stop her, Frank. It's dangerous.
You're right. It is dangerous. Stay just where you are. Don't any of you make a move.
But Mr. Valentine...
Careful.
But you're letting her get away.
Not very far. The police are out there.
Hey, it's okay, Mr. Valentine. They got her.
Your money will be returned to you, Frank.
Thanks, Mr. Valentine. I owe you a lot.
That's right. But you'll get a bill in the morning. Come on, kid.
Good night, Mr. Valentine.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, I'm really going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh, too bad. Too bad it had to end this way.
Huh? What do you mean?
He's thinking about the nurse. Aren't you, Mr. Valentine?
You know, Claire, I believe she was a natural blonde after all.
George will be back in a moment. Meanwhile, it doesn't matter whether you sit in an office or ride a tractor. Life these days seems to be getting more complicated for everybody. Any convenience that makes living a little simpler is always as welcome as spring. Your Chevron dealer knows this, as any friendly businessman should. So he tries to make you his friend by making his cream, green, and burgundy station as convenient and efficient as he can. He'll make it a point to know your car and the grade of RPM compounded motor oil you use. He'll urge you to use a Chevron credit card because he wants to save you time. He handles Chevron Supreme gasoline because he knows it'll give you good going wherever you drive. He takes the trouble to know the country nearby so that he can give you good travel tips. When you get right down to it, at Chevron gas stations, you get the same sort of convenient service you expect from any other wide-awake home-owned business. Get acquainted with the one near you. You'll like it. Well, next week, George Valentine is confronted with a problem. A big problem. You'll probably hear something like this.
Client or no client, Mr. Valentine, you can't keep a dog that big in this apartment.
Jeepers, do you realize he eats 6 pounds of food a day?
6 pounds? What kind of food?
I'm not sure, but he seemed awfully fond of my head.
Okay, Sonny. Go out and buy him a bone.
Chevron gas stations all through the West invite you to be with us again next week for another chapter of Let George Do It, brought to you by the makers of Chevron Supreme Gasoline and RPM Compounded Motor Oil. Let George Do It, starring Robert Bailey as George with Francis Robinson as Claire and Eddie Firestone Jr. as Sonny, is written by Pauline Hopkins, produced and directed by Owen Vincent. Others in the cast were Jane Morgan as Mrs. Harding, Harry Bartell as Frank Harding, Evelyn Scott as Alice Barry, and Paul McVeigh as Mr. Ward. The music was composed and conducted by Charles Dance. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to
Let George Do It.
This is the Mutual Donley Broadcasting System.
November 8th, 1946, Let George Do It on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Up next, Jackson Beck as Philo Vance.
Maybe you're about to hit the jackpot. Maybe you're on the point of inheriting $500,000 or finding oil. Chances are, though, that none of these lovely things will happen. Chances are, if you want a bonanza in the future, you'll have to save it up. Now, there are a number of ways to do that. Some people stuff their mattresses, stash their cash behind a loose brick in the fireplace, or slip it under a floorboard. None of these methods make sense because money so stored isn't making a cent for you. Not only that, it may get lost or stolen. Wouldn't you rather your savings made more money for you? Wouldn't you rather have them theft-proof, loss-proof in every way?
Of course you would. And you can the United States Savings Bond way. Through the payroll savings plan where you work or the bond-a-month plan where you bank. $3 will get you 4 on maturity every time. Nicest thing of all, it's literally impossible to lose your money.
If Baby shreds your bonds into confetti and drops them out the window, you can recover your cash plus interest in United States savings bonds.
And now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Jackson Beck stars as Philo Vance. This episode, entitled The Teacup Murder Case, was originally broadcast November 8th, 1949.
So long, fellas. See you all in 3 days. So long,
Don't be late for the sailing, Algy.
Can't move without a steward, right, boys? I'll be back, you blooming idiots.
Okay. Don't take no wooden shillings, Algy. Oh, that Algy's up there, baby.
Wait a minute, Algy. Wait right here.
Hi, Johnny. Nice of you to come down to welcome me.
Don't give me that welcome talk. You know what I'm here for. Did you bring it with you?
Shh. Somebody'll hear.
Nobody around to hear me. Did you bring it? That's what I want to know.
I've got it all right, Johnny. Be at my room at 9 o'clock tonight. I'll let you look at it. Only there are 2 other gentlemen who'll be bidding for it, too.
So they'll be bidden.
Yeah.
One thing I'm guaranteeing, Algy. I'm the guy that's going to get it.
Hello, Algy.
Oh, it's Mr. Burke.
That's right, Algy, Mr. Burke. Your ship docked a little while ago. I was watching you when you got off.
I was going to call you as soon as I got in my room here, Mr. Burke. Honest, I was.
Perhaps you were. I hope you were, for your sake. Did you bring it with you, Algy?
Aye, but Mr. Burke, you'll have to come here tonight to see it. As you probably know, there are 3 of you gentlemen who want it.
Sure. Johnny Peters, Reginald Sands, and me.
That's right.
I know they both want it.
Mr. Burke, Johnny seems to be sure he's the one who's going to get it.
Algy, please listen and remember this.
Yeah?
If Johnny Peters gets it, you're going to get it right between the eyes.
Hello.
LG?
Speaking.
Ah, Reginald Sands, LG, old boy.
Oh, hello.
Well, I see you've arrived on schedule.
Oh, we docked a couple of hours ago.
Very good, old fellow. And, you brought it ashore safely?
I've got it. And it's safe enough right here with me.
Oh, really, old bean, that's top hole. Better keep it with you until I have a chance to get down there, LG. I want to see it. More than that, I want to buy it.
You'll have to get online, Mr. Sands. You're not the only one who wants the diamond, you know.
Yes, I know. That stone is very much in demand.
That's right.
But, LG, old top, it had better be me who gets it, because if I don't, you'll have another kind of stone for your very own. A tombstone.
Well, Vance, this is the room where the body was discovered. I'll bring you up to date as quickly as I can.
Thank you, Markham. But let me tell you first what I know.
All right.
The dead man was Algy Corcoran, a steward on a transoceanic liner. He'd been suspected of smuggling, but nothing was ever proven.
Right. Now, smuggling doesn't come under my authority as district attorney, but some of Algy's playmates are pretty rough characters, I understand. He was found shot to death right here last night. His boat docked yesterday afternoon.
What kind of a gun was used?
A Webley, English gun.
Oh?
This particular model was at least 12 years old, ballistic show. Nothing unusual was in the room except a tea kettle on the portable stove and 2 teacups which had held tea that had been drunk. But there were no fingerprints on one cup.
The one the murderer drank from. If the dead man had, there'd be no purpose in wiping off the fingerprints. Right, Markham.
No question about that now. Well, Vance, as usual, we give you nothing to work on, but that hasn't stopped you in the past.
There's a first time for everything, my friend. Tell me this. What ship did Algy work on?
The SS Simplon from London.
There was a jewel robbery in London about 2 weeks ago in which the famous 40-carat Elton diamond was stolen. Algy is a suspected smuggler.
I see what you mean.
For a case that seemingly has no clues, Markham, I'd say we have rather a clear picture of what happened. Now let's see what progress we can make.
Well, come, old man. It can't take all that time.
No? You ever try to cut the 40-carat diamond, Mr. Sands?
I steal them. Cutting them is your department.
I've got to be very careful. You want this stone split exactly in half so it will no longer be recognized as the Elton diamond, but can be sold for matched earrings. 2 20-carat stones will bring you almost as much as 1 40-carat one.
Yes, and it'll be a whole lot less recognizable, old fellow. All right, go ahead. I won't interrupt you.
I'm almost finished. I'll put the Elton in this vise. Put my diamond cutter right here. And just tap it once with this mallet. That ought to do it.
Good.
Where'd you get the diamond, Mr. Sands? It was lifted in London 2 weeks ago.
I know. Never mind where I got it. Go ahead, old fellow. Tap it again with that thing, please.
Very well. Here goes. The lights. Who turned out the lights? Mr. Sands, we are in the dark.
Well, it seems as if I'm in a bit of a predicament. I can't see you, but look, whoever you are in this room, let's make a bargain. I'll give you half of everything.
He'll give me half.
That you, Joe?
It's me, Edna. What a day.
Busy?
And how? What's for dinner?
I won't tell you. It's a surprise. All right?
Sure, dear. I have a surprise for you, too.
Oh, let me see.
Later.
Honey, no teasing.
Honey, no begging.
Oh, please, if it's a surprise, let me see it. Please, Joe.
What's for dinner?
Roast beef. Now, what's your surprise?
These.
Oh, Joe.
Pretty, aren't they, Edna?
Yeah.
2 perfectly matched 20-carat stones. Had to kill a man to get them.
Oh, the stones are lovely. I've never seen such fire.
Had to knock out a guy, too. Killed the fellow who cut the stones, knocked out the guy who lifted them from Algie Corcoran. The steward you read about?
The one that was killed? Sure, I read about him. Oh, Joe, these stones are the most beautiful I've ever seen.
Well, you keep admiring them. I'm going in and wash up. I'll be out in a minute, and the roast beef better be ready and good.
Oh, it will be, Joe. You can be sure of that.
Philo Vance speaking.
Vance, my name is Endon Burke. My husband is Joe Burke. He just killed a man.
What did you say?
I said my husband killed a man, a diamond cutter, he said.
Where is he now?
He's washing up. He can't hear me with the water running. Vance, I've been saving your telephone number, waiting for something like this. You've got to catch Joe, and then I'll be rid of him once and for all.
Where are you?
Harris Apartments. Hurry up, Vance.
I'll be there with the District Attorney Markham inside half an hour. Goodbye.
That wasn't very nice, Edna.
Joe.
I heard, honey. I heard everything.
Oh, no, you...
You told Vance to come over, and then you'll be rid of me once and for all.
No, I didn't.
You know, it seems to me that when he gets here, it'll be the other way around.
There's the apartment door, Markham.
Yes.
I only hope that Joe Burke didn't overhear his wife talking to me on the telephone.
We'll know in a minute, Vance.
That we will. If he did hear her, he'd think nothing of killing her. I'm sure of that.
Hear anything, Vance?
Not yet.
Vance, thank goodness you've come.
Where is he, Mrs. Burke?
In here. Come in, please.
This is District Attorney Markham, Mrs. Burke.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Where's your husband?
There he is, lying on the floor over there. He's dead. I shot him.
What is this, Mrs. Burke?
He heard me phoning Vance. He tried to kill me. We struggled, and his gun went off, and he dropped. I know I should be hysterical and all that, but I'm not the type. He tried to kill me. He got killed. That's all there is to it.
I wouldn't say that. There's a whole lot more to it than that. You said he told you he killed a diamond cutter.
Yeah.
Well, a diamond cutter was found dead this afternoon. We suspected he may have been used to cut up the Elton diamond and then was killed.
I don't know anything about that.
Your husband didn't mention anything about any diamond?
Not a thing. Oh, here's my husband's gun. I took it from him after he fell.
I think you'll find it's the one used to kill the diamond cutter, Markham, but not the one that killed the British steward.
You're right, Vance. This is an American-made automatic. However, Burke might have used another gun to murder Algie Corcoran.
Perhaps. Mrs. Burke, did your husband drink tea?
Are you kidding? He never drank tea.
Well, in that case, Markham, we'll have to look for another murderer.
Good afternoon.
How do you do? What can I do for you, please?
I'd like to know if you'd be interested in buying a pair of perfectly matched diamonds.
Diamonds? How big, please?
20 carats each.
20 carats?
Uh-huh.
That's a lot. Stolen, of course.
Does that make any difference?
Not to me. You would want a lot of money for them.
Oh, they're worth a lot. Here, take a look for yourself.
Very beautiful. It would take some time for me to get rid of these.
Put them away. Somebody's coming in.
Somebody is in, Mrs. Burke. Somebody named me.
Vance, you followed me.
That's a logical conclusion. Yes, I did. And I'll take those stones if nobody minds.
Mister, if you're the police, take them. I know nothing about them. This lady brought them in. She asked me to buy them.
That's all right. I have nothing against you. Well, Mrs. Burke, apparently you left out part of your story, didn't you?
Vance, I told you the honest truth. Joe did try to kill me, and the gun did go off while we were struggling. Afterwards, I got the idea of taking these 2 stones, but the rest of the story was the truth. I swear it was.
Take it easy, Mrs. Burke. You weren't the hysterical type. Remember, that's what you told Markham and me. Just relax. And the 5 of us will take a trip to Mr. Markham's office.
But
the 5 of us?
Yes, this gentleman and the 2 stones and myself. I imagine he'll be glad to see us all.
I beg your pardon, old boy, but I'll have to deny the district attorney that pleasure. I'll take the stones.
Who are you?
Well, it wouldn't matter if I told you my name, because to be perfectly frank, old man, I change it almost as often as I change my shirt. But I'll take those stones, old fellow.
Now.
Please, Mr. Vance, give them to me. He'll start to shoot if you don't.
Oh, there's no question about that. Well, Vance?
Well, I don't have any choice in the matter. Here they are.
Oh, no, don't throw them. I know all the tricks. Just leave them on the counter and walk away 3 steps with your back toward me. That's it. Now, all of you, walk.
Well, I should say we ought to walk, Mrs. Burke.
Okay.
Oh, quite the gentleman, aren't you, Vance, old boy? Quite a smart gentleman, too. And now I'll just take these diamonds. Actually, they belong to me, by the way.
There's a family in London that might dispute that statement.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Let us just say that I'm the American owner. It was I who had them when we, the diamond cutter and I, were hijacked by this lady's husband, Joe Burke. I knew he was after the stones, and I was watching his house and followed Mrs. Burke when she left with you after her.
We made quite a parade, I imagine.
Yes, all we needed was a banner and a band.
You say those stones belong to you, that you're the American owner?
Yes.
Does that mean you killed Algy Corcoran to get them?
Oh, the resourceful, redoubtable Philo Vance asks as leading a question as that. Why, it's hard to believe you'd be that obvious, Vance.
I apologize.
I accept your apologies.
I promise not to ask any more questions. And I promise you this. Within 24 hours, I'll have all the answers to this case, including knowing who you are and proving you killed Algy, if you did.
This is District Attorney Markham. The Teacup murder case opened with the killing of Algy Corcoran, suspected smuggler. His murderer, we are sure, drank a cup of tea either before or after killing him and stealing the famous Elton diamond, which we are sure Corcoran brought across with him. Vance knows that the Elton has been cut up into 2 separate stones to prevent identification and was on the trail of the stones when he was held up. And they were taken from him by a man whom he didn't know, but who spoke with a marked British accent. He has promised to report any new developments to me, and I expect to be in touch with him. Markham speaking. Is that you, Vance?
Yes, Markham. I've made several very interesting conjectures about this case, and I'd like to tell you about them.
Where are you now?
At home, but we can discuss this over the phone.
All right.
In my opinion, the teacup we found at Corcoran's room is the key to this entire case, Markham.
That's what I believe when you asked me to name it the Teacup murder case for our records, but I'm not sure of the exact significance of the cup.
I'll explain that to you, but apparently I can't do it now. All I'll tell you is a very apparent fact. The killer is British. There's someone at my door. I'll check back with you later, Markham.
Do that, Vance. Bye.
Goodbye.
Vance, let me in, please.
Well, come in, my friend. Sorry to see you so badly beaten up, but it's nice to see you without a gun in your hand. Here, sit down right there.
Thank you. You recognize me, don't you?
Yes. You're the man who held me up at the diamond store and took the 2 stones from me. What happened to you? To them? And, to your British accent?
Look, I'm going to give you this straight, Vance, because I need help. I was taking those diamonds back to my place when I got slugged and beaten up. Who it was that clipped me, I don't know, but he sure did a good job.
Yes, he did. By the way, who are you?
My name is Sands, Reginald Sands. That's my current name, anyhow. I used to work the boats. I'm a card man.
Cheating passengers in fixed games,
No, the games weren't fixed, just the cards.
No.
Anyhow, I got to meet Algy Corcoran on board one trip, and I knew he was going to grab the Elton diamond over there and peddle it here, so I wanted to buy it.
So you went down to his room, killed him, and took it.
Look, let's not start that over again, Vance. The important thing is that I haven't got the Elton stones. And I don't want the guy who has them to keep them.
Understandable, of course. And it's also understandable why you don't go to the police with your problem. By the way, what happened to your British accent?
Oh, it was knocked out of me by the guy who clipped me. See, I was born in Illinois, Vance, but I put on a phony accent when I worked the boats. You'd be surprised how a British accent can help me in my work, Vance.
Well, let's not discuss that now. Just give me an idea as to who might have done that manual tattoo work on your face.
Could have been only one guy. Johnny Peters.
That's a new name to me. Who's he?
Look, Algy told me 3 guys wanted the Elton. Joe Burke, he's dead, me, and Johnny Peters. I have a hunch Peters is the character that did a job on me. And I'll tell you where you can find him.
Do that. And once I get in his apartment, I'll find what I can get out of him.
Hey, let's see you do that dance you do at the club, baby.
Okay.
Only this time, nobody is going to be watching except me. Here, I'll turn on the phonograph. Hey, what kind of record is that?
Oh, Johnny, cutie, I put that on while I was waiting for you to come home. Leave it. So, classical.
Who needs it? I want something with a beat so you can hoof.
Oh, yes.
What's the use of having a girlfriend who can hop the buck if you can't watch her every once in a while? Like now, huh?
Oh, I'll dance for you, Johnny. Anytime. Give me another glim at those diamonds you got, will you, huh?
What's it worth to you?
This. Let's see the rocks, Johnny. Just once more, huh? I won't touch them. Just let me look, huh?
Okay. Hey,
Gee. Oh, look what happens when the light hits them. They sparkle just like rhinestones. Gee, oh, I'd like a costume made of them.
Oh. All she wants is a costume made of 20-carat diamonds. Right away, baby. I'll make you one with my own lily white hands. Right away.
Oh, they sure are pretty.
They sure are.
Yeah.
A couple of guys have been killed for these rocks. One guy got beaten up pretty bad on account of them. But I got him. And I'm going to keep him.
Who's that?
I don't know. Kill that phonograph while I stash these stones and find out.
Okay, I will.
Now let whoever it is try to find him. If that's what he's looking for.
Where'd you put him, Johnny?
Baby, do you see any green in my eyes?
Why, no.
Think I'd trust you?
Johnny,
Shut up. Well, I see who's at the door. I got nothing to hide from nobody now. Well, who are you?
My name is Vance. Nice of you to ask me in.
I didn't ask you nothing, much less in. What do you want, Vance?
Well, right at the moment, I want to know why you're wearing adhesive tape on your right hand.
I cut myself when I was shaving.
On your hand?
I'm the neat type. What's it to you, Vance?
I'm looking for the Elton diamond, only it's 2 diamonds now. And I'm also looking for a killer. I think I'll find both together.
Well, don't look at Baby there. She don't know the right time.
Who don't? It's 8:30.
You see what I mean, Vance?
I'm not interested in her right now. It's you I want to talk to. You're Johnny Peters.
So?
So I don't think you'll mind if I look around your apartment, do you?
Oh, but I do. Very much.
In that case, please stop me. Please try, I mean. It would make me very happy.
Never let it be said that I didn't try to make a guy happy. How's for this, Vance? Laughing yet?
No, but I'm going to be enjoying myself for the next few minutes. I can see that.
Cut it out! Oh, stop it! Kill him, Johnny!
Well, that's that.
You hurt him. Vance, you killed him. Oh, you murderer, you. I could. Gee, you got nice eyes.
The better to see that telephone with, my dear. Excuse me just a second. You'd better get some water and throw it in your boyfriend's face.
Oh, sure, I'll get some right away.
Markham speaking.
This is Vance. Markham, can you reach Mrs. Joe Burke?
Yes, she's in custody. She'll have to stand trial for her husband's death, you know.
Well, I want you to have her down in your office. You had Sergeant Heath pick up a fellow named Reginald Sands at my apartment. Have him there, too.
All right. When will you be here?
As soon as I can make it. And I'll have company with me. A mug named Johnny Peters. The one person who killed Algie Corcoran and started us on this case is included in the 3, Markham. It's either Mrs. Burke, Peters, or Sands. I don't know which one it is, but I guarantee I'll know 20 minutes after I get to your office. Come on, Peters, don't make me drag you in. You're too heavy.
You hit awful hard, Vance. I don't hardly know where I am.
You're outside District Attorney Markham's office. And in a second, you'll be in there. Like now. In! Oh,
here's Vance.
Sit over there, Johnny. That seat right there.
Okay, what can I lose? Hi, Sands.
Hi.
You look like you ran into a truck. What happened to you?
You look like you met the same truck.
Hello, Mrs. Burke.
What did you want me here for, Vance?
You'll find out. Thank you, Markham, for the trouble I put you to.
No trouble, Vance. Well, what happens now?
A little experiment. I have 3 lists of girls' names on these sheets of paper in my pocket. One goes to each of my suspects. Here you are, Mrs. Burke.
What do I do with it?
I'll tell you later. Yours, Peters.
Gee, this is what I've always wanted. A piece of paper.
Your list, Mr. Sands.
Thanks so much.
Mrs. Burke, read me the names on that paper. Keep
Yeah.
going till I stop you.
Okay. Alice, Beatrice, Clarice, Dorothy, Evelyn, Frances, Grace.
That's enough.
Okay.
Mr. Peters.
How do you know I can read?
Can you?
Sure. Alice, Beatrice, Clarice, Evelyn, Frances, Grace,
Hold it.
Harriet. It's a pleasure.
Mr. Sands.
My turn, huh?
That's right.
All right. Alice, Beatrice, Clarice, Dorothy, Evelyn, Frances, Grace, Harriet, more, Vance?
No, thank you, Mr. Sands. You've gone far enough. Markham, you can make your arrest now.
I don't doubt it. But which one is the killer we're looking for?
Couldn't you tell, Markham? Why, the murderer is Johnny Peters, of course. Markham, I know you want an explanation, and you're entitled to one.
I not only want it, Vance, I need it. Why were you so sure the murderer had to be Johnny Peters?
To begin with, I was always certain the killer of Algie Corcoran was an Englishman. That required no genius. The weapon used, a 12-year-old Webley, was British. The fact that he drank a cup of tea with his victim while either about to murder Algie or right after was another indication that he was British.
So far, so good. But how'd you know Peters was English? He certainly didn't sound it when he talked.
Finding which of our suspects was English was the hard part of this case. Peters had been over here a number of years, Markham, long enough to lose his accent when he talked.
Yes?
But not long enough to lose his inclination for tea, and when he read, the fact that he was English reached right out and asserted itself.
Of course, you know that I don't know how it did.
The pronunciation of the name Evelyn, Markham. The English don't say Evelyn, they say Evelyn.
Of course.
That's how Peters pronounced it when he was reading that list of names I prepared for just that purpose.
Well, I'll be darned. His confession proves you were right, of course, and we found the diamonds in his apartment, but I'm still not clear on the mechanics of this case. What actually happened that night in Algie's room?
Very simple, Markham. Algie sold the Elton diamond to Reginald Sands. Sands left, and in came Peters. Algie made him tea, and then announced he'd sold the Elton to Sands. Furious at what he considered a double cross, Peters shot Algie with his Webley pistol, a gun he carried because he'd had it for so long he knew it couldn't be traced.
Then he wiped his fingerprints from the teacup he used and left.
Yes. Now, before he'd reached Algie's, Joe Burke, who was later killed by his wife, called Algie, and Algie told him he'd sold the Elton diamond to Sands. Follow that?
Yes, of course.
Well, the rest we know. Sands took the stone to be cut. Joe Burke came in, shot the cutter, and knocked out Sands. He came home, and his wife called us. What followed after that, you know.
That I do, and it isn't the only thing I know either. I know this is the end of the teacup murder case.
74 years ago, November 8th, 1949, Philo Vance on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And coming up next, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Not all careless drivers have accidents, but many such careless drivers cause accidents. A woman driver who drives slowly down Main Street while doing a little window shopping is a menace. So is the man who insists on telling the people in the back seat of his car about his poker game last week. It's no wonder that ordinarily cautious drivers start to lose their tempers and take dangerous chances to pass these careless drivers. When an accident results, the person who caused the accident probably won't even be touched. So the National Safety Council says if you want to window shop, get out and walk. If you are too busy describing one of your sterling feats to pay any attention to traffic, get out and walk. The driver's license you have does not give you the right to endanger the lives of your passengers or other human beings. Driving can be dangerous. Keep your mind on what you're doing, or walk.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we walk to November 8th, 1959, 64 years ago, an episode of Suspense. This episode with Ralph Bell not only starring, but part writer of this program. It's entitled The Last Trip, and it'll be a trip that the wife and the boyfriend and the husband will never forget.
And now, another tale well calculated to keep you in Suspense. When a fond husband leaves on an overseas business trip, his loving wife is apt to slip a remembrance gift into his suitcase, as our heroine Myra does in a story by Ralph Bell and Eugene Francis called The Last Trip.
Here, Ted, over here.
Hi, Myra.
Well, it's about time.
Yeah, sorry I'm late, baby.
What the devil's happened? Been going out of my mind waiting in this horrid cafeteria.
Easy, baby. Took me a little longer than I figured to rig up our little surprise package. Then I got stuck in a cab. Traffic is murder.
Yeah, that's another thing. What makes you think they're going to let planes take off in this weather?
Relax, will you? I called the airport just before I left my apartment. All overseas flights are leaving as scheduled. It's only a little missed. Here's the package. Better get moving before Harry gets home.
He's home already.
What? You sure?
I just phoned. He got in 5 minutes ago and started to pack. Now, how am I supposed to get this into his suitcase without his noticing, huh?
I don't have to tell you how. He's your husband. You've never had trouble handling him up to now. Distract him somehow. Then slip the package into the suitcase, close it, and see that it stays closed till he leaves with it.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
Not going to be that simple.
Sure it is. You can do it, Myra. Look, you still want to go on living with him? I'll tell you right now, I'll just have to fade out of the picture.
You mean you'd stop seeing me?
I'd leave town, that's all.
All right. Give it to me.
Good girl. Now, look, you don't have to be nervous about handling it. It won't go off till it's time.
Hey, are you sure it'll work?
It'll work, Myra. I guarantee it. At 5 p.m., when it explodes, this plane will be well over the ocean. Now, you better get going. Phone me at my apartment after he leaves, and good luck, sweetheart.
Is that you, Myra?
Yes, Harry. Have you packed yet, dear?
Almost there. I'll do the rest after I finish shaving.
Oh, I'll do it, Harry. I'd have done it before, but I was delayed shopping.
What'd you buy? Anything interesting?
Oh, nothing really.
What's in that package?
Huh?
Well, that package you're holding.
This, just some shoes.
Oh, really? How'd they look? You know, you have such pretty feet, darling. Put them on, let me see.
Oh, Harry, there's no time. Now, where's your suitcase?
It's on the bed, dear.
What do you want me to put in?
What? Speak up, dear. I can't hear with this thing on.
I said, what do you want me to put in?
Oh, just some handkerchiefs and socks. I've packed everything else.
All right, dear. Oh, fool. What color socks, dear?
I'm wearing the gray suit. Would blue be all right?
I think so, dear. Hot spot.
What, dear?
How many pair?
Well, just enough for 3 days, dear. And don't forget the handkerchiefs.
No, I'll put them right under your shirts. And your surprise package and everything else, you old goat.
What, dear?
I said the handkerchiefs are under your shirts, darling.
Oh, thank you, dear.
How to get this closed.
Oh, golly. Well, I'll be glad when this trip is over.
So will I, dear. Oh, darling.
Oh, don't bother with the suitcase, dear. I'll close it.
All right.
You know, I often think what my life was like before I met you. Years spent just grubbing for money, and who was there to spend it on? Here I was over 50, and I hadn't really lived. A meaningless existence. And then, 2 years ago, Providence was merciful. You came into my life. You gave me back my youth, Myra. You know that?
Oh, Harry.
Oh. Say, what's in here? Did I pack too much?
No. No, let's put our weight on it together.
Well, I could take some things out.
No, come on, together. Ready? Now push down.
Oh, my. That'll never close. There's too much in here. I guess I'll have to take some things out.
Oh, Harry.
Oh, we'll take a minute. Myra, your package. What's it doing in my suitcase?
Oh, the package. Well, Harry, darling, it was to be a surprise.
A surprise?
Yeah, for your birthday.
My birth? But Myra...
It's a gift for you. I didn't want you to see it until you unpacked.
Oh, what a pity.
Now you've spoiled everything.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I didn't mean to.
Well, you put it right back and don't open it till you arrive. Then it'll still be a surprise. Promise?
Oh, I promise. You're so sweet, so thoughtful. Thank you, darling.
Now, hurry. You haven't much time.
Yes, dear. Now, suppose I take out these slippers of mine. That ought to make room for the package. There. Now it'll close easy. And I better lock it, too. A lot of petty thievery going on lately. Can't be too careful. Oh, there we are. It's all set. See me to the door.
Well, of course, dear. Now, hurry, darling. You'll be late.
All right. I'll cable you as soon as I land.
Yeah.
Give me a kiss.
Now, goodbye, darling, and take care of yourself.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Goodbye.
Man. Hello, Penny. Yes, he's gone. He managed it, but he nearly drove me right out of my mind. What do you mean, take it easy? You don't know what I've been through. Yes? Who is it?
It's me. Open up.
Dad, what are you doing here? I told you to stay away till it's all over. It's too risky.
You sounded almost hysterical, baby. Thought I'd better come over and stay with you till you calm down.
I am calmed down.
Well, I'll stick around anyway till we get the news about the plane. As soon as we hear you're a widow, I'll take off.
Suppose somebody decides to drop in.
So I'll use the fire escape in the bedroom like I've done before. How about a drink?
I've had one.
Oh, have another. Settle your nerves.
When will we know?
Will you stop fretting? The explosion will happen at 5 on the nose. Radio will probably flash the news later this evening.
Then what?
Oh, Myra, we've been over this a dozen times. We sit tight till the airline calls. Then you go into your act, the shocked and bereft widow.
Yeah.
Only you'll have to be convincing.
Oh, that won't be easy. It'll be such a relief to know I'm finally rid of him. One thing worries me, though.
Here's your drink. What worries you?
Suppose the plane's only damaged and it manages to turn back and land.
Oh, not a chance. There's enough blast in that little package to knock over a house. You can imagine what it'll do to a plane 10,000 feet up. Come on. Drink up, Myra. Wait, a toast. To Harry, our benefactor. To his last trip. Let's turn on the radio, huh?
You know, I can't help feeling a little sorry for those other plane passengers.
Well, that's very humanitarian of you, Myra. But like I've always said, some must die so that others may live in clover. That's a basic fact of life.
You're very necessary to me, Ted. I mean emotionally.
Really? Why?
You're such an unadulterated heel, you make me feel almost respectable.
And you're such a charming hypocrite. You make me feel like an honest man. Almost. Oh, we're a dandy team.
And now, the late afternoon news. The weather's making headlines again today. The slight haze that's hung over the city for the past 2 days thickened late this afternoon and developed into heavy smog.
Hey, turn that up.
The smog has been caused by a heavy, congested, smoke-filled atmosphere that is imprisoned over the city by damp, immobile air. Meanwhile, all flights have been canceled at city airports, and motor traffic is moving at a snail's pace. Motorists are warned to drive with extreme caution. President Eisenhower held a press conference today.
Ted,
Yeah.
you suppose
Go on. Say it.
Harry's flight has been canceled?
In just a moment, we will return for the second act of Suspense.
Bonjour, I am Jacques Leroy, expert on the stereophonic phonograph. I will now clear up this whole subject. S'il vous plaît, listen to ordinary stereo. A girl crossing the street. Eh bien, now on Columbia Stereo 1. Oh, that was a pretty girl crossing the street. Quelle différence! The fantastic Columbia Stereo 1 phonograph gives you all the realism and excitement of a live performance. Oh, in a moment, mademoiselle. Oh la la. Oh, pardon. You see, only Columbia has exclusive stereo projection. Not just a few separated speakers, I know, but multiple speakers that send interlocking circles of sound through every inch of a room. See the Columbia phonograph man tout de suite. Columbia Stereo 1 portable start at $39.95. Consoles from $129.95. Attendez, ma chérie! Wait for me!
Look at that haze, will you? It didn't seem so bad when I was on my way over here.
If his plane didn't take off, where do you suppose Harry is now?
I don't care where Harry is. Where's his suitcase? If it explodes while he's carrying it around, we're really in the soup. There'll be an investigation. It'll lead right back here.
Well, what do we do?
Wait a minute. Let me think.
This is a fine time to think, genius. Why didn't you think before?
Now, wait, Myra. The weather report said slight haze. The airline said they were operating a regular schedule. Nobody could figure they'd be smart.
Nobody could figure. You were smart enough to figure everything else. Why couldn't you figure this might happen?
All right, I didn't. Now, will you shut up for a minute? Wait. Maybe we're jumping to conclusions. We're not sure his plane was grounded.
So how do we find out?
Phone me up. Come on, answer. Hello. Can you tell me if Flight 377 took off on schedule? Yeah, hold on. Hello. What? Oh, thank you. You see, we panicked over nothing. Plane took off 10 minutes late, but it took off.
Oh, what a relief. I'm sorry, Ted.
That's all right, baby. For a moment there, it felt like the whole world was falling in on us. Say, I could use another drink. You?
Yeah.
Hey, who can that be?
I don't know. Where you going?
The bedroom. I'll wait out on the fire escape till you get rid of whoever it is.
Close the door.
Okay.
Coming. Who is it?
It's me, dear.
Harry.
Open up there.
Harry. What happened? Why aren't you on that plane?
Myra, you won't believe it. Wait until you hear. Close the door, dear.
Harry, for heaven's sakes, what happened?
Well, my cab got stuck in an awful traffic jam, and the fog or the smog or whatever it is kept getting heavier every minute. Traffic was just crawling. And finally it occurred to me that even if the cab got me to the airport on time, all flights would probably be canceled. So...
But your plane took off.
Oh, did? Well, how do you know?
Well, I called the airport.
Oh, now, how do you like that? I probably could have made it after all.
Where you been all this time?
I went back to the office, sent a cable that I'd be a day late.
You left your suitcase in the office?
What?
Your suitcase. Did you leave it in your office?
Well, no, of course not.
Well, where is it?
Why... Isn't that foolish of me? I left it outside the door. I'd better bring it in. Here we are. I'll just leave it in the corner here. There's no point in unpacking. I'll be going first thing tomorrow.
What time is it?
Let me see. It's 4:45. More or less.
Well, what do you mean, more or less?
My watch may be a little slow.
Look, Harry, let's go out to dinner tonight, huh?
Well, it's not very pleasant outside.
Well, I don't care. I just don't feel like cooking in tonight. Let's eat early right now and go to a movie or something, huh?
Well, if you really want
Yeah,
to.
I'll go fix my face. Why don't you mix a drink for us while I get ready?
All right.
There's soda in the kitchen. I'll be ready in a minute.
Myra!
What?
Put down that suitcase.
Well, why? I'm taking the bedroom. It clutters up the room here.
For heaven's sake, you'll strain yourself. That's too heavy, boy. Give it to me.
No, I can manage that. Don't fuss, Harry. Make the drink, huh?
Well, all right. But if you strain yourself, Myra...
All right, Harry's in the kitchen. Get in here. I've got the suitcase.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
What do I want you to do? Take the bomb out and get it out of here.
Yeah, okay.
Harry, you've got less than 15 minutes before it goes off.
I know. Oh, great.
What's the matter?
It's locked. Where's the key?
Harry's got it.
I'll have to break the lock then.
How'll I explain that? No, wait. I've got a better idea.
What?
Take the suitcase. Get rid of it in the river. It's only a block away. You'll have time.
Yeah, but how can I take it down?
All right. Hit me.
What?
Yeah, hit me in the face. Then take the suitcase. I'll wait till you get down the fire escape, then I'll call for help. I'll tell Harry there was a thief, that he knocked me unconscious before I could scream.
Yeah, but Myra...
Don't argue. Do as I say.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Hard now. Hard enough to leave a mark. It's got to be convincing. Go on.
All right. Okay, Myra. I'll be in touch.
In just a moment, we will return for the concluding act of Suspense.
Meet star Stuart Irwin.
Nothing's worse for an actor than a nasty cold. To feel better quickly, I take wonderful 4-way cold tablets, the fast way to relieve cold distress.
Right. Tests of all the leading cold tablets proved 4-way fastest acting. 4-way starts in minutes to relieve muscular pains, headache, reduce fever, calm upset stomach, also overcomes irregularity.
Take my advice. For your next cold, take 4-way cold tablets, the fast way to relieve those cold miseries.
4-way, only 29 cents.
Our program will continue in a moment after a word about another fine product of Grove Laboratories. To get rid of embarrassing dandruff in 3 minutes, change to Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo. 3 minutes with Fitch regularly is guaranteed to keep unsightly dandruff away forever. Apply Fitch before wetting hair, rub in 1 minute. Add water, lather 1 minute, then rinse 1 minute. Every trace of dandruff goes down the drain. 3 minutes with Fitch and embarrassing dandruff's gone. At the same time, Fitch can brighten hair up to 35%. Get Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo today.
Help! Harry, help! Where is the old fool?
Myra, what is it?
Oh, Harry.
What happened? Oh, here, let me help you out. Look at your face. What on
A
earth?
man, he must have come in from the fire escape. He struck me before I could scream.
Good Lord.
I saw him take his suitcase before I passed out.
Oh, I better call the police. Are you all right? Shall I call a doctor?
No, it's just a bruise.
Well, you better lie down. I'll be right back. Hello, operator. I want to report a robbery. Hurry, please. Now, Myra, you should lie down.
I'm all right, I tell you.
Oh, now, who can that be?
I'll get it. Yeah, what is it?
Harry Jason's residence?
Yes?
Detective Sergeant Duran, 28th Precinct.
Oh, I was just calling you fellas.
Yeah? What about?
Well, a man just broke into our apartment from the fire escape. He struck my wife and got away with a suitcase. You better come in, officer.
Just a minute. Is this your suitcase, Mr. Jason?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes, it is, Myra. Oh, it's definitely my suitcase, Sergeant. You see, there are my initials, H.J.
Uh-huh. Hey, Keene, bring him in here. Close the door. This the man who assaulted you, lady?
I can't be sure. I didn't get a good look.
Can you identify him, Mr. Jason?
Well, no, Sergeant. I didn't see him at all. I was in the kitchen when it happened. What makes you think he's the one?
Somebody from across the way called to report there was a man lurking on your fire escape. We got here just as he was coming down, carrying your suitcase. He started to run, and we collared him.
Please, what time is it?
Time? Oh, it's about 5.
I mean exactly.
Exactly. I got 4 minutes to 5. Why?
Oh, no reason. I'm just confused. The shock.
Oh, sure. I understand. Now, if you folks will come down to the station and file charges.
Now?
Sure, might as well get over with.
Well, why don't you all go ahead? I'll join you as soon as I make myself more presentable.
Well, that's all right, ma'am. We'll wait for you. No hurry.
But I don't feel well. My face is...
It sure looks a mess. Meaning no offense, ma'am. Maybe you better bring her down later, Mr. Jason. Okay, you pick up the suitcase.
No.
What do you mean, no? You wanted it so bad you lugged it down the fire escape. Now you can lug it down to the station. Pick it up. Go on.
Wait. Listen to me. There's a time bomb in there. It's set to go off in less than 4 minutes. If we don't get away from here, we'll all be blown to pieces.
What are you, a comedian? Pick up that suitcase.
It's the truth, I tell you. You gotta believe me.
How do you know there's a bomb in there?
His wife put it there.
He's crazy, officer. I don't even know this man.
We were in it together. It was supposed to blow up on the plane. Now, open that suitcase. I'll defuse the bomb before it's too late. Will you hurry?
I don't understand. You mean there's actually a...
Relax, Mr. Jason. You know there's no bomb in there. He's pulling some kind of story.
I'm not, I swear it.
All right. I'll go along with the gag. We'll just sit here for 5 minutes and see if your bomb goes off. One thing I can't stand is a two-bit crook that's a wise guy.
He's telling the truth. Harry, open it.
Myra.
Give him the key, Harry, quick.
Where's the key, Mr. Jason?
The key?
The key to the suitcase. Have you got it?
Here.
Yeah, give me it. Where'd you put it, Myra?
Under his shirt.
Where is it?
Not there.
If you're referring to my birthday present, Myra, dear, you're quite right. It's not in my suitcase.
But...
You see, Myra, my dear, I was so touched this afternoon when for the first time in our whole married life you remembered I had a birthday. In fact, it was the first birthday gift you'd ever given me. So on my way to the airport, I couldn't resist seeing what it was. Imagine my surprise when I recognized its somewhat lethal nature.
Well, it wasn't my idea, Harry, honest.
At first, I was somewhat stunned. And then all your little maneuvers, your adroit little lies in the past began to fall into place. I took your gift to Sergeant Duran here, and then we drove over and waited outside the house until we saw your friend arrive. We evolved a little stratagem to get a confession from you both. And now that we have it, Sergeant, I think you'd better get him out of here.
Sure, Mr. Jason. Okay, let's go, you two.
Oh, Myra, one thing more. My birthday actually occurred last month. It's a pity you never remembered the date. Or rather, how lucky.
Suspense. You've been listening to The Last Trip, written for suspense by Ralph Bell and Eugene Francis. Heard in tonight's story were Ralph Bell, Connie Lemke, Eugene Francis, and Bob Dryden. Suspense is produced and directed by Paul Roberts. Listen again next week when we return with The Companion, a story of jealousy and jewels, written by Walter Black. Another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
There you have it, November 8th, 1959, suspense here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Tomorrow, comedy, Jimmy Durante in a program from 1945. Also, from 1952, The Aldrich Family, a 1948 edition of The Bob Hope Show, and Groucho Says the Secret Word, which will be ink. That'll be on our Thursday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Visit our webpage, classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. And tell all your friends the greatest radio shows of all time are on the Classic Radio Theater podcast right here.